Being that you had been so involved in the hunt, what was that day like for you on 9/11?
Well, I was in another part of the building, and a friend of mine called, and just very quickly he says, "I got to go." So turn on your TV. So I turned it on, and I turned it on and got a cup of coffee and came back, and I came back in the room just as the second plane was hitting the tower, and I thought, now I wonder who this could be. And I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, the devil has the opportunities you give him, and we gave him a great one for a long time. And I thought, well, here we go. Um, we'll fight a war against them and we'll lose. No one has ever beaten the Afghans in Afghanistan. And Osama bin Laden had said, it's very easy to defeat the Americans if they're not in America. If I can get them back to Afghanistan, they may be there a long time, but they will leave, and they'll leave in defeat. And we did. We thought airplanes and special forces and the mothers of all bombs and all of that stuff was going to make a difference. And it did. It killed a lot of Afghans. We lost a lot of people. But it's like any insurgency depends on you breaking the will of the insurgents. But the worst insurgency is the Islamic insurgency, because you got to break their God. And we didn't. And about a year into the thing, we decided that we wanted to build Monticello on the Kabul River. And so we had exactly zero positive impact. We lost the war. We left them $86 billion worth of guns, plus electrical equipment they would never have gotten in a million years, probably. And that whole 20-year thing was entirely predictable. You go back to Alexander the Great, 3 wars for the British, the War of the Soviets. All these people really want to do is to be left alone and to run their own country. And if we were going to go in there, the one time the British won, they went in with what they called a retribution, or some kind of getting even campaign. And they went in through the north, up around Kabul, came down through the south, through Kandahar, and left the country in about 15 months. And it kind of left a message. The Afghans were quiet for about 6 years. And if we had done the same thing, it probably would have had the same impact. But we would have had to do it with the full knowledge that at one point or another, we might have to go back and do it again. But the whole business of occupying the country from north to south and east to west, it was foolish.
Why do we as a government always have this excuse of, well, we left everything there because it would be cheaper to leave it than bring it back? We give hundreds of billions of dollars to other wars, and we're worried about losing money on bringing weapons back?
Yeah, that's been the military case for a long time. I imagine some of it happened in Iraq. We just gave it to the Iraqis, thinking they were going to now be new Democrats and fair and honest people. It's just another excuse. They lost 13 people. They're in when they're evacuating Afghanistan. I think the realization in Afghanistan is, if we wanted to get everything out we could, we were going to have to fight at the same time, because people were not going to. They knew where our supplies were, where we were headquartered, all of that stuff. We not only gave up all those weapons, but we gave up a strategic air base. Now, you would have thought at can't remember the name of the place, northeast of Kabul. You would have thought the first thing the commander on the ground would have done when he when he was told you were when he was told you were going to be pulled out right away with all your people, is to send his engineers out to that airport and blow it up.
Yes, sir.
But instead, we gave it to the Chinese.
Chinese, yeah.
And I'm not a military guy, but there's a place for common sense in these things. And if you don't have them, it's like not killing the guy that's going to kill you before it's nuts. It really, in a way.
Thanks for watching this clip of Country Drive. To see more in the future, please hit like and subscribe.